What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel to yet another cooking video. This is everything I made for Turkey Day, so tag along. First, I started making a Dominican potato salad. All you need for this is a couple potatoes, a decent amount of carrots. It just depends how big you want your salad. You take all of that and put it in a big pot. You add some salt or a lot. You add as many eggs as you want. It just all depends how much eggs you like in your potato salad. You boil this. Do not overcook your potatoes like I did. Then go ahead and peel the skin of those carrots and the potatoes. You can chop them up as thin or as big as you like. Like I said in one of my last videos, I don't really like carrots unless they're fully cooked in a dish. So I cut them very thin. Then I go ahead and put even the egg yolk in the salad. Everything that you're boiling, you're going to add in the salad. And like I said, I overcook my potatoes. So if you don't like your potatoes almost smashed in your potato salad, make sure you pay attention to that. I went ahead and added some salt to this and the key ingredient, which is vinegar. White vinegar to be exact. You can use apple cider vinegar if you wish, but you don't have to. So I added a decent amount just because I like vinegar in my potato salad. I usually add extra after I make it. And I added a decent amount of mayo. Please don't make a dry potato salad where people are asking who made the damn potato salad. I added some black pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, or a lot. I also added onion powder. Everything here is to your liking. So then you start mixing everything together and then you taste it to make sure you like the taste of it, because you might need to add more. Like I said, I like vinegar, so I went ahead and added more vinegar to my salad. I made sure everything was mixed together because nobody wants to find chunks of mayo in their salad. I moved it to a different bowl to put it in the refrigerator, and voila, this is what she looks like. Next up in the list, it was my honey-glazed sweet potato cornbread. Instead of making cornbread and candy yams, I just combined it all together and made one dish. I start by peeling 2 decent-sized sweet potatoes. These you can overcook. I cooked these for about 45 minutes. And don't cook the whole thing. Make sure you chop it up into smaller pieces. If you don't want to boil these, you can also roast them in the oven. It's up to your liking. After I let this boil for about 45 minutes, like I said, I took them off the stove and I started putting them in a clean bowl because we're about to add other ingredients to it and smash them up. We want to make like a pudding out of it. So I added some vanilla to my liking. I don't have measurements in this video. I added about 2 tablespoons of butter. And I also went ahead and added some cinnamon to my liking. You can add nutmeg. I know a lot of people add nutmeg to it. I just don't like the taste of nutmeg. I added a decent amount of brown sugar. If you're trying to not make it sweet, why are you making this? It's supposed to be sweet. Then I started smashing all of this up until I had basically smashed sweet potatoes. I didn't want to have any chunks of this sweet potato in my cornbread. I also went ahead and added a drizzle of honey. You can add as much honey as you like, but the cornbread packages that I'm using already have honey in them. I add a little bit of baking soda and baking powder just to make it a little bit fluffier. I should have measured, but I didn't. Like I said, I don't like to measure. I just be playing in the kitchen, y'all. I'm not even lying. I mixed that up. I whipped it up, y'all. My arms were hurting. Then in a different bowl, I'm going to mix all of the dry ingredients. I'm just going to follow directions on the cornbread packet. If you do not want it to be super, super moist and you want it more fluffy, don't add all the milk. I'll say add half of it because the sweet potato concoction that we have on the side is already wet. So it's just going to be extra moist. I also went ahead and added the eggs in here. I did use the recommended amount of eggs in this recipe. Don't play about the eggs. I also did not add the recommended amount of oil. I started mixing all of this together until everything was just perfect. Then I went ahead and added the cornbread mix to the sweet potato. I did let this cool down a little because it was extremely hot. And then I got to mixing, y'all. No gym for me for the next few days because my arms, baby, they were done. After you're done mixing that, add all of your wet ingredients to the bigger bowl and get to mixing. I thought the other mixing was hard before this. Baby, I was looking like a bucked up man. I don't know how to explain it. But my arms were hurting. That's all I'm going to say. Then once this all mixed, go ahead and take a pan and butter it up or spray it. Do not just put it in the pan because it's going to stick to the bottom and you're going to be pissed when you can't get it out. I wish I could say that I recorded the final result, but I didn't. So I'll be making a video of this recipe for you guys in a separate video. Everybody that I have made this for always wants it, so that's why I made it for me and my family for Turkey Day. Now, y'all, the next thing I'm making, I'm sorry, I was just literally playing in the kitchen. I don't know why I thought it was okay to make a pear and apple cake, upside down cake, but mind you, I didn't even know what I was doing. So I started following the instructions on the cake box. I went ahead and started with the eggs. Don't be cheap with the eggs. Just add as many eggs as they say. I was not cheap with the oil for this recipe. I added as much oil as the box told me, and then I got to whipping that thing up. I don't know. I like to mix things as I go. I don't like to wait to mix everything together. And instead of water or milk like the box says, I went ahead and added the juice from the pears in the can. That way it will be a little bit more pear flavor. I'm telling you, even though I was playing around, it was delicious. Then I added a whole cup of applesauce to this. I should have just added apples, honestly. But I'm going to try to make this one more time, y'all, because it was really good, but it could be better. Then I chopped up some pears and added it in there just so I can find little chunks of pears. What you guys don't see me doing here is making this little like caramel mix for the bottom of the container that I'm going to bake this in. So I went ahead and did that. This is another recipe that I'm going to remake so you guys can see how I made it. And I'm trying to perfect this because I actually enjoy this recipe. I might actually use real pears when they're in season. I went ahead and mixed all that up and totally forgot to press record for the next few parts. So here's me impatiently taking this out and just uncovering it. The little glaze on top is that little caramel mix that I said that I made. And I will redo this video and show you guys the full recipe. It was so pretty and it smelled great. I was the only one that ate it because nobody liked pears in my house. Then I tried to make greens for the first time, y'all. I follow a recipe from TikTok, and I'm not going to lie, if I do say so myself, those greens were banging. We ate them up in a day and a half. Like, there was none for the rest. You know how you eat leftovers and stuff? Yeah, no. But I chopped up a whole onion, a couple cloves of garlic, and I went ahead and used smoked turkey tails. That's all that was left because I also did go grocery shopping kind of late. I added 2 boxes of chicken broth. Each box has about 4 cups of that. You can add more if you want. In the video, they said that the chicken broth was better than water just because it was more flavorful. I literally let this cook for about 4 hours, and then I added the greens. Then I'm making angel eggs. Yes, angel eggs. I ain't saying that other word. I also follow another TikTok recipe. This was something that I was making for the first time as well, and I did not know how to do it. So I just followed a recipe, and they came out great. I started by adding a little bit of yellow mustard. You can also use Dijon mustard. That's what they said. I only found dill relish for this. At the store was basically all out of stuff. A decent amount of mayo and a little bit of sugar, since the dill relish that you're using is going to give it a little bitter taste. I use a little bit of smoked paprika, garlic powder, as well as onion powder for this recipe. Like I said, I'm just following a recipe of TikTok, and it was great. I started mixing everything up, and I thought that, you know, I tasted it and I thought that it needed a little bit more relish. So I went ahead and added that, as well as a little bit of Lori's seasoning salt, because I needed the flavor to come out a little bit more. Kept mixing it up and tasting it, and it was great. And here's how it turned out. My light had died, so here is me filling up the eggs. I did not pour paprika and parsley on top. I did it the following day because I just didn't want it to, I don't know, like I wanted to look aesthetic. I wanted to look cute or whatever. Then I started making my sofrito. That's what we call it back home. I'm in the Dominican Republic. This is for the turkey, y'all. And I did not realize my camera was dying about now. Use a decent amount of onion and a decent amount of garlic and cilantro for this. I do recommend chopping things up a little bit when you put it in a blender, or if you have a cheap blender like mine, because things can get stuck there and then you have to move things around, and I just didn't feel like doing that. I used 2 celery stalks because I'm not putting anything between in the middle of the turkey, so I just blend everything up. I used a red pepper, orange pepper, as well as a little bit of a green pepper for this, because I just want all those flavors in my turkey. And when I tell you, it was my first time making a turkey as well, and that was banging. If you guys haven't watched my recipe for my leftover turkey soup, go watch it. I added a decent amount of oregano to this, small paprika, as well as a decent amount of Lori seasoning salt to this, because we want a lot of flavor for our turkey. It was a 13-pound turkey, y'all. I added an entire cube of Maggi seasoning cube. And then I went ahead and added a decent amount of salt to this. One of the key ingredients that I felt like brought the juiciness to my turkey was this Goya Mojo Criollo, which is just to marinate meat and stuff like that. I also added some black pepper, and I went ahead and blended all that up. You want it to fully blend, y'all. I started seasoning that damn turkey, and my camera is gonna die soon, and I thought I was recording the whole thing for you guys. But after I seasoned this very well, I went ahead and melted 2 sticks of butter, and I added dry herbs to it, and then rubbed the turkey with it, and I cooked the turkey for 4 hours in the oven at 375 degrees. And here is the mac and cheese that I didn't get to record making because, like I said, my camera died, and this is what the plate looked like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be making a separate video for all of these things, so stay tuned because I will go back to playing in that kitchen.